Dear colleagues and friends from all over the world, it is an honor for me to contribute to your special event as President of Europa Nostra, the voice of cultural heritage in Europe, and also as Goodwill Ambassador of UNESCO. I salute with great respect and admiration all heritage heroes and defenders taking part today in this critical discussion at the UN headquarters in New York. And I applaud the recent vital report prepared by the United Nations Special Rapporteur in the field of cultural rights, Karima Bennoune. This report constitutes a vigorous human rights call to action to end intentional destruction of cultural heritage, which Europa Nostra wishes to endorse. When one gets older and realizes that there are more years behind you than ahead of you, then you tend to reflect on what is the legacy you leave as a parent and a grandparent, as a generation and as a civilization. It is then that you understand that cultural heritage, tangible and intangible, is our anchor in time. It tells us the closely interconnected stories of who we were in the past, who we are today, and who we could become in the future. This is why, of course, we need to safeguard our cultural heritage across the world. And this is why, of course, the intentional destruction of cultural heritage is a human rights issue, because when cultural heritage is attacked, damaged, or destroyed anywhere in the world, it is our heritage, yours and mine, that is attacked, damaged, and destroyed. These destructions undermine our human right to know our own history and the histories of our neighbors. These destructions seek to erase the record of human genius and human creation, and by doing so, to erase our collective memory as human beings. These deplorable acts, therefore, must be firmly condemned and eventually stopped, as advocated in the report in the UN Special Envoy for Cultural Rights. As a musician who has dedicated my whole life to art, I am deeply moved by the heroic stories of those cultural heritage defenders who have taken the greatest risks to protect it, sometimes even at the cost of their life. Our best tribute to them will be to support the work of those who continue their efforts to stand with the heritage heroes of today. Let us all honor and get inspiration from the power of example of those who have kept singing when music was banned, of those who continued dancing when it was forbidden to do so, of those who bravely saved manuscripts and artifacts from disappearing in flames, and those who carefully reconstruct that which was destroyed. An act of destruction takes place in the blink of an eye, while we all know that an act of creation takes tremendous time and effort and requires ongoing care and commitment. Cultural heritage does not belong to one person, one group, one culture, one religion, one country, or one civilization. We are one family, one tribe, one race living on a very fragile planet on an outside spiral of just one of the billions of galaxies out there. This means that we have a shared responsibility for this planet. We must equally take care of its past, of its present, and of its future. There are so much we can and should do. For example, we must ratify and implement the various international and European conventions relate to cultural heritage. We must also find the resources for educational programs on the importance of cultural heritage and cultural rights, especially for young people, to encourage them to learn, understand, and care for the cultural heritage of others. All in all, we must ensure that culture always remains a priority because, let us not forget, it is culture that makes our lives worth living. World leaders must demonstrate political will and leadership on all of this, and we, the world's citizens, must encourage and support them to do so. As president of Europa Nostra and as an artist, I urge everyone, institutions and civil society alike, to work stronger and closer together. I see our shared task as a grand global opera. As you know, opera means work, both in the sense of the labor done and the result produced. We indeed have to work hard again and again until we get it right. We may play out of tune, we may hit a wrong note or get the timing wrong. But once we understand the different rhythms, melodies, and timbres, we should find harmony in all our different voices. But if one voice is silenced, that harmony will be lost. I once said, music is the voice of hope. To that, I would add today that cultural heritage is the face of hope, the record of our shared endeavor to leave behind something beautiful, something meaningful, to construct a bridge from the past to the future, which also enriches the present along the way. That bridge, that common theme of our world opera, is our cultural heritage. It is our human right to protect and preserve it, to access it and enjoy it, and to transmit it to our children and grandchildren. Today, these rights cannot be taken for granted and require our collective, vigorous defense. This is a duty for humankind as a whole and for each and everybody of us. Thank you very much.